The War Council chamber reeked of arrogance and ozone. Korak stood at the center of the circular room, his crimson scales gleaming under the harsh lights of the Dominion flagship. Around him, holographic projections of conquered worlds rotated slowly, each one a testament to the unstoppable march of the Jarek Empire across the galaxy. Sector 7 has fallen, announced Commander Vexith, his mandibles clicking with satisfaction. The human colony on Refuge Prime offered no resistance worth mentioning. Laughter rippled through the assembled officers. Humans. The word itself had become a joke among the Dominion fleets. Soft, weak creatures who valued sentiment over strength, who wasted resources on art and philosophy rather than weapons and conquest. Korax allowed himself a thin smile. In his 3 decades of military service, he had seen dozens of species crumble before Jarek might. The humans would be no different. They had already lost 17 colonies in as many months. Their fleets scattered like frightened prey animals. Their governments sent desperate peace envoys that the Dominion ignored with contempt. The Terran home system will be next, Korak said, his voice carrying the weight of certainty. Once Earth falls, humanity will exist only in our labor camps. Who will stop us? The question was rhetorical. Everyone in the chamber knew the answer. No one. The blast doors exploded inward. Korax's combat instincts kicked in immediately, his hand reaching for his plasma pistol. But he froze when he saw what stood in the smoking doorway, a human, female, alone. She was small by Jarek standards, barely reaching Korax's chest. Her armor was battered, scorched in places, and patched with what looked like emergency repair foam. But what caught everyone's attention were her boots, military-grade combat boots, caked with dried blood that was definitely not human. The woman walked into the chamber with the calm confidence of someone entering their own home. Her dark eyes swept across the assembled Jarek officers, and several of them stepped back involuntarily from her gaze. "Me," she said simply, her voice cutting through the stunned silence. "I'll stop you." For a moment, no one moved. Then Vexith burst into laughter, the sound harsh and grating. "One human? You send one soldier to face the entire Dominion command?" The woman, Ruhia according to the name patch on her armor, didn't smile. "I didn't say they sent me. I said I'd stop you." Korak studied her more carefully now. He noticed the controlled breathing, the way her weight balanced perfectly on the balls of her feet, the absolute absence of fear in her expression. This wasn't a desperate last stand. This was something else entirely. "How did you breach our flagship?" he asked, genuinely curious despite himself. "Walked through the forward airlock," Ruhia replied. "Your guards didn't stop me." "Couldn't really. 23 of them tried." The implication hung in the air like a blade. "The blood on your boots," Korak said slowly. "That's Jarek blood, some of it. There's also Krellian, Vorthian, and a bit of sectoid. You've made a lot of friends, Dominion." She tilted her head slightly, "But mostly it's yours. I've been working my way through your fleet for the past 6 hours." "Impossible," Vexith snarled. "We would have detected—" "You detected 17 breaches," Ruhia interrupted. "You thought they were system malfunctions. They weren't. Each one was a deck I cleared. Each one was a step closer to this room." Korax felt something unfamiliar crawling up his spine. It took him a moment to recognize it. Unease. "You're claiming you killed your way through 7 decks of the most powerful warship in the galaxy? Alone? I'm not claiming anything. I'm just explaining why I'm late. I promised Earth survivors I'd have your head by morning cycle. I'm running behind schedule." The sheer audacity of the statement should have been laughable. Instead, Korax found himself calculating distances, angles of attack, exit routes. His tactical mind was treating this lone human as a legitimate threat. "We have heard stories," he said carefully, "about human soldiers. They say your species fights beyond reason, beyond survival instinct. They say you have a word for it." "Berserker." "That's one word," Ruhia acknowledged. "We have others. Determined, relentless, vengeful." She took a step forward, and half the officers in the room reached for their weapons. "But my personal favorite is thorough." "You cannot win," Korak stated, though his hand remained on his pistol. "Even if you kill everyone in this room, which you cannot, the Dominion will continue. We are Legion. We are inevitable." For the first time, Ruhia smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. "You asked who would stop you. You were expecting another fleet, another army, another empire. You weren't expecting someone who's already lost everything." She gestured to the blood on her boots. Refuge Prime was my home. Those colonists you mentioned? My family, my friends, my world. The temperature in the room seemed to drop. You made a mistake, Ruhia continued, her voice soft but carrying absolute conviction. You thought human mercy was weakness. Human compassion was cowardice. But you never stopped to wonder what happens when you take those things away. When you burn away everything that makes us civilized, what's left? Korax's scales prickled with primal recognition. He'd seen this before, in the eyes of apex predators on death worlds, the look of a creature that had nothing left to lose and everything to avenge. What's left, Ruhia said, answering her own question, is me. The lights went out. When emergency illumination flickered on 6 seconds later, Ruhia was gone. So was Commander Vexith, his chair empty except for a small device blinking ominously. Korax's communicator screamed with incoming reports. Breaches on decks 7 through 12. The weapons array offline. The shield generators failing. Escape pods launching without authorization. And over the ship's intercom, a voice, human, female, calm. To the Jarek Dominion fleet, this is your only warning. Leave human space. Every colony. Every system. Every outpost. You have 72 hours, a pause. Your command didn't think one human could make a difference. By morning, you'll know better. Korax stared at the empty doorway, at the bloody boot prints leading out into the corridor. They had asked who would stop them. She had answered, and standing there in the chaos of alarms and panicked officers, Korax realized with cold certainty that the Dominion had just learned the most dangerous lesson in the galaxy. Humanity didn't need to be stronger. They just needed to be angry enough. The blood on those boots would haunt his species for generations.